Hi everyone, this is Danielle Parada from Sip and Soma. Hello out there everyone. So I'm doing my video and my audio now, so I had to wave to the camera. I just wanted to say hey and thank you for listening. I have a brand new interview today. We have Aman here from Ordergrabbers, and it's going to be really great. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to look at you a little bit on camera, and then we're going to look at each other. But Aman's going to tell us about his amazing new local business and how we can hashtag shop local, hashtag eat local through using Ordergrabbers. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Ordergrabbers to start.
Sure. Good morning, Soma. This is Aman Wilkerson, the owner of a local delivery service called Ordergrabbers. Ordergrabbers is a restaurant marketplace and delivery service. It's where you can order from some of Soma's local restaurants and have it delivered by the Ordergrabbers team right to your home, office, or university there at Seton Hall University.
Cool. And how did you come up with this idea? I mean, we have so many, I feel like we have so many ordering services.
Right.
What I love about yours is that it's supremely local.
Right. And so that was the whole point, is to be able to offer something that is hyper local, right? I spent the last 7 years in this space, on-demand delivery space.
Oh.
The last company I worked for was called Order Up, based out of Baltimore. And so in 2014, we were a startup company. Our two founders went out and raised $10 million from Steve Case's VC fund, Revolution, who's the founder of AOL. And then we used that to kind of grow the business. My role with the company was director of content, outside sales. Ideally, what I did was go out and launch the business in multiple markets, several markets throughout the country. And I think over a course of 4 years, I did about 10, 12 markets. Most of them really secondary markets, college towns like Cincinnati, Nashville, Raleigh, North Carolina, Providence, Rhode Island, College Station, Texas, Pittsburgh, you name it. So I spent several years traveling a lot. I would say traveling anywhere between 2 and 3 weeks out of the month.
Wow.
During that time, I acquired a lot of United miles. I probably hit the platinum level at several hotel chains. So while I was away from family, the family still benefited because we were able to take some trips using miles and stay quite a few places through hotel points and free stays, things of that nature. So it was a fun experience. I got to learn a lot about the business. I think the biggest thing that drew me to that is that I had spent a lot of time working with small businesses and merchants in several markets. And I've always been in a sales management or business development type role. And having already been in that industry, this was a great opportunity to be able to work with a startup, see that whole process from raising capital to ultimately getting the following year, 2015, 16 or so, or 15, we got acquired by Groupon for $100 million.
Wow.
And and so the last 2 years we had worked underneath the Groupon umbrella for a little bit, and then last June or last July they sold us to Grubhub.
Wow.
And so I saw the whole process from start to finish, and ultimately, I didn't want to work at a larger company. I wanted to really tap into my entrepreneurial spirit and get into this business on my own. I'm fortunate enough that I had made a lot of contacts early on, and one being a technology company down in North Carolina called Data Dreamers. And so Data Dreamers is a SaaS-based platform that allows entrepreneurs such as myself the ability to start a localized delivery business. In that world, we call them RDSs, which is our restaurant delivery service companies.
Can you stop for 1 second
Sure.
and say what's a SaaS platform?
It's just software as a service, meaning
Okay.
it's not like you're not putting a software into your computer. Everything is in the cloud. It's downloaded,
Oh,
and so
okay.
so it's an acronym for
Yeah,
cloud.
us techies,
Right.
us like low techies.
Right.
Like I'm low tech. I'm
Right.
like, okay, I've got my iPad.
Well, there's no, put it this way, there's no CD to inject into your
gosh,
computer
CDs.
to actually
I don't even have
download the software.
I don't even have like a desktop computer
Right.
anymore. I mean, let's be real here.
That's right.
Everything's on the cloud. I just don't know what it's called.
Right. So I stuck a relationship with them a couple years ago when I was launching the Raleigh, North Carolina market.
Yeah.
And we've just been in touch, ever since then. And the opportunity came to say I can help them with sales, but at the same time, I can use the platform as a resource to start my own business and use that as a way to educate other entrepreneurs
Okay.
about the platform.
Pause.
Sure.
Bravo. Because I love that. This is one of my favorite things. First of all, entrepreneurship is all about, like, people say the side hustle. But what I hear you saying is that, like, you took this company. You're like, okay, I'm going to work for you. But I want to use your platform to do my own thing. And they were cool with that.
Absolutely.
And I think that's amazing because they obviously at one point were a startup too.
They were a startup, but they've a pioneer. They've been in the space and developing awesome tools for entrepreneurs to be in this space for 20 years.
That's amazing.
And I think most people don't realize that delivery isn't anything new. Like the Grubhubs and the Eat24s and these guys, they didn't just start this business. This
Right.
business has been around for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
It just so happens that a few guys got together, raised a bunch of money, and developed technology like that, right? And so while there's a whole other subculture out there that is RDS world, that are hundreds of independent restaurant delivery service companies out there. Well, guess what? Their software is coming from 2 to 3 other companies. Data Dreamers
Awesome.
is one of the bigger
Yeah.
companies that offer that technology to independent restaurant delivery service companies.
So, but it's such a great synergy. I'm bringing back the word synergy, people, because I feel like it's a new understanding of that word, because
Right.
that word has been overused by people who are like synergy,
Right.
but didn't really mean it, or didn't really mean it in such a meaningful way. Like, this is a company that's so well established, but still like supporting their employees because you're working for them, but with your own dreams to do something different, right?
Well, that's the whole concept is Data Dreamers, right? It's
Yeah.
helping individuals that are dreaming of being an entrepreneur and running their own type of business, in the sense that like Data Dreamers provides the technology that will help you see those dreams come alive.
That's awesome.
So it is more of a entrepreneurial type partnership with them, and these guys are great. They're really good at what they do, and we've already done some great things together in terms of opening up setting up new owners, and I think now one of the cool things that we are looking to do is really look at partnering with restaurant groups, small restaurant groups, because the one thing that we're looking at is that we have a buddy of mine that I used to work with at Order Up. He's out in Iowa City, and what he did in his business was that he partnered with about 20 or so restaurants, and what they did was, because Grubhub came to town with this attitude of, we just bought Order Up, which was their biggest competitor, right? So,
Right.
Grubhub really grows their business by acquisition, right? So they're struggling to compete with a business locally, and it's a sound business. They'll purchase it, they'll buy it, because they can't compete, because they have the money to actually do that. So kudos. Obviously that's any business would do that. You can't be mad at them for doing that. But the reality is that they came into a situation where they went and bought the incumbent, which is Order Up, but they went to the restaurants and said, well, you don't have a choice but to work with us now. With this attitude of, we just bought Order Up, so you know, you didn't want to work with us before, but now you don't have a choice to work with us.
Oh.
And so that type of attitude pissed a bunch of people off. And so
Shocker.
Adam was very smart in the sense that he rallied a bunch of restaurant owners together. They formed their own like restaurant group, right? And started their own delivery business out there called Chomp. And they're killing it. They're crushing it. They're averaging over 400 orders a day. Everything is being processed through our Data Dreamers technology wisdom. It's on auto dispatch. I mean, it's a phenomenal story. I love telling it because
I love it.
Restaurants are smartening up,
Yes.
right? They are starting to realize that you don't have to use multiple third-party services if you have a local option.
Right.
You know, that you're going to have a better relationship with, that you're going to own your own customer data, and that you have a point of contact. And they're not going to charge you 30-35% for the order, you know? So I think restaurants are really starting to smarten up and be like, listen, if there's a local option, you know, why wouldn't I use that local option?
Right. So, well, let's get to Ordergrabbers then. So
It's
that's
good to
basically
Ordergrabbers.
sounds like Chomp in South Orange and Maplewood.
No, yes, but they are a much larger scale because they're at the University of Iowa, which is 35,000 plus students, small market, and so they're really, really doing well. And I think they're kind of an anomaly because all Adam had to do was roll his order up relationships into Chomp. And ultimately what happened is they're basically blocked out Grubhub.
Yeah.
Because because the top 25 or so restaurants all put in to structure this Chomp opportunity. Wow. And so now, you know, Grubhub's on the out looking in.
Cool.
You know, so that's a really cool story. So what we're trying to do really is kind of duplicate that type of model to go to a small restaurant group that may have 5 to 10 concepts locally that will say, we can go down and say, listen, you know, up until now, you haven't had access to technology that will allow you to control your delivery program and control your customer data, and also have marketing tools to help you engage with your customers by sending the right message to the right customer at the right time, right? All that is embedded into the Wisdom platform. And so now if we can go Wisdom is just the name of the SaaS-based platform that Data Dreamers offers.
Okay. All right.
And so now that we can really kind of use the Chomp example, now we have something that we can actually say to, or actually show restaurant groups that, look, if you're spending 20 to 30%, you know, for two to three different platforms, and you don't own your customer data, and you're having not the best user experience, well, guess what? We have something that will enable you to take that control back.
Right.
And control your own delivery platform. Most restaurants got out of delivery because they had no way of actually managing it.
Yeah, I feel like the whole idea of using apps, I'm a big fan of even something that's probably really low tech, which is just like Google Forms and things like that.
Right.
It just helps me run my business better.
Absolutely.
And it helps me collect data without having to handwrite or, hire somebody else to do it, because it's something that can be like my virtual assistant when I need it. But yeah, so like, how does Ordergrabbers work? So
Ordergrabbers works very similar to any of the bigger national brands that you would think of, like Grubhub or Eat24, Seamless, Uber Eats, DoorDash. We have both an iOS app as well as an Android app, located both in the Apple Store as well as Google Play Store. And it's very easy. The customer goes down whichever platform they're on. They download the app. They put in their address, and then what will happen is the list of restaurants in the local Soma area will pop up and show you maybe 15, 18, and gradually more restaurant offerings, and then you basically just choose a restaurant, pick what you want to order, place the order, and within 60 minutes your order's at your home, office, or at Seton Hall. It's pretty cool, pretty easy, and what's really cool about the platform is that you're notified every step of the way. So as soon as the order is accepted, you get a push notification to your device letting you know, hey, Aman has accepted your order. He's
Right.
on his way to the restaurant to pick it up. Once I get to the restaurant, as a driver, on my driver app, I would click on at restaurant, which would send you another push notification to say, hey, Aman's at the restaurant. He's waiting for your order, and he'll be leaving shortly.
That happened to me.
Right.
So I ordered through Ordergrabbers.
Yes.
So I work at Work and Play, and I love the way that sounds. I work at Work and Play, and it's such a fun place to work. And actually, that's how we met.
Exactly. I work at Work and Play.
Yeah, listen, networking, guys. Let me just tell you a little entrepreneurial secret right now. It's not a secret. Go to Work and Play.
It's a great place.
If you need to have office space, because you get to meet people and network, and you just never know what's going to happen. And you were really generous to offer all the people at Work and Play a code to get a discount on our orders, and which gave Aman some information, because then we got to try it out. I tried it out. I ordered falafel from Falafel Yours, who I love that place. And yeah, I got a notification that my order was accepted. Then I got a notification that the driver was at Falafel.
Right.
And then I got a notification that I was like on his way.
Yes.
And you had a nice window, because I thought it was going to be longer and it was shorter.
Right.
And that made me very happy.
Yep.
Because who doesn't want to get their lunch a little earlier, because we always order too late.
Right.
We order when we're hungry versus like thinking ahead.
Right.
So, and then the order arrived and the food was great. I could have been sitting there. Like, it was, and that also has to do with the restaurant. So how do you choose restaurants? Do you help restaurants like self-select if they're the right restaurant to be with your app?
Yeah, so I think ultimately we want a variety of different type of food types and cuisines. So ultimately, you'll know depending on the cuisine. So like a lot of seafood type foods is not the best to travel. But anything that is, a lot of ethnic foods travel really well, right? Like it's hot. They, whether it be Asian, Indian, Afghanistan, a lot of the ethnic foods really travel well. So those are like go-to, like you got to have those on your platform.
Yeah.
Right? Then there's always the pizza. Then there's always, when I first got into this industry, restaurants were like, well, burgers don't really travel well. But the reality is that the top two, I think, foods that get ordered the most is sushi and burgers.
Yeah, and you just said seafood doesn't travel well either,
but now cooked seafood,
order.
you can get lobster linguine or something along those lines, or scallops.
Yeah,
right?
no, scallops travel terribly, guys.
So
don't order scallops.
Yeah, don't order scallops. I don't think I have even scallops an option on order.
It shouldn't be.
Grabbers.
You need to have them right from the kitchen to the table. Like, ask Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
We're not,
So the thing is that you want a variety of options, and you work with the restaurant. So like, if I'm sitting with a restaurant owner and he's got 75 items on his menu, I may have him scale that down.
Yeah.
Right? But the challenging thing is that if you look at a sushi or a Chinese restaurant, they've got 200 items on their menu.
Yeah.
You can't really scale that down. You just have to get it online somehow, right?
Yeah.
But there are some restaurants where you want to scale down their menu, maybe offer the top 20 items that they want to offer. But it's all about setting the right expectation for the customer, right?
Yes.
And so there are certain restaurants, so like Bay Leaf, right? Depending on what you order at Bay Leaf, it may take 40 minutes for it to be prepared, and at any given time, so it's a Friday or Thursday night, they could be really busy. And so if we set the expectation that your delivery is going to take 75 minutes, you're not upset if it comes in 75 minutes. But if we set that expectation at 60 minutes and it came in 75, you might be a little bit upset.
Yeah.
So everything is really tied to what the restaurant make time is for their food.
That's great.
And so we can adjust that on the restaurant profile side. By if it's Thursday through Saturday, we can change that make time to 40 minutes, so that we're setting the right expectation to the customer. Yeah. And sometimes sometimes for whatever reason, it could be those expectations may be off a little bit. But the driver is basically required to reach out to the customer if they get to the restaurant and the restaurant says, hey, it's going to be a little bit longer than we anticipated because of, as you can see,
Right.
we have a full house.
Yeah.
Which I always say to drivers is that this is a business of communication. The restaurant has to communicate to us. We have to communicate to the customer. And so without that that flow of communication, that affects the experience.
It's awesome.
So the whole idea is that, look, if you know you're going to be late, reach out to the customer.
Yeah.
Right? If you get to the restaurant and they say, look, it's going to be an additional 10 minutes, reach out to the customer and let them know you're at the restaurant. They said it's going to be an additional 10 minutes.
How empowering is it, though, for, like, I even feel that whatever you think about Uber and things like that, like, I just find the communication that we're bringing into these industries so empowering for the person who's working for you. Like, the drivers are empowered to say,
absolutely,
like, hey, you know, the restaurant's like jam-packed, and so they want to get the order out to you, but it's going to take a little longer. And that's just, and then on my side, it's like, I have real compassion for that. Like, and yay,
right.
They're a jam-packed restaurant, my
right.
favorite restaurant, everybody's going there. Like, that's okay.
Right.
You know, I mean, I couldn't make it there tonight, but I'm so excited my local business is doing well. And I think that that's, like, the big shift for all of us, is just, like, this communication, when done well and when done with purpose and when done with understanding, can really just bring us together. What I love about your business is that it's so community-oriented.
Yeah, and we want to hire within the community. My overall vision of what this marketplace will be is that I want it to be a student-run business, and so because I'd hired a senior Seton Hall University student. She's a brand ambassador.
She's a brand ambassador?
So
What's that?
we say a brand ambassador. She is someone that's advocating for Ordergrabbers at Seton Hall. She is helping us understand the dynamics and how to engage and go through the process of, being a vendor that is allowed to engage with students on campus.
Super.
And so she's been very instrumental in walking us through that process and getting us in the door. And so starting in October, we will have access to 8 dorms. I think we've got 2 or 3 events already confirmed at 3 of the dorms. And so we're hopefully gonna get through all 8 dorms within the next 6 to 8 weeks.
So what kind of events are you doing?
So we'll just like a tabling event. Like I'll get one of our restaurant partners to offer up some food samples for the students. And we'll have a special discount code for them to use. Ideally, what we're trying to do is get students to download the app and try the service out.
Yeah.
And so, and then we understand we have to incentivize customers to actually use the service first, right?
Yeah. Like any good business.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're all for offering incentive to customers that want to try the service out, and. So we'll have a table there at one of the dorms in the lobby or outside or whatever, and we'll have some food there. We'll have some music. We'll have some giveaways. We'll have a forum for them to put their email address.
Yeah.
And like just check off and download their app.
Cool.
Download our app, and then they get something in return.
That's great.
And so we're trying to do that at all 8 dorms between now and the end of, before they go away for Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to get engaged with the students. But at the same time, we wanted to give them some time because they just got back a couple weeks ago.
Or just started.
To get settled, so we didn't pounce on them.
Right.
But I think we're just taking a very slow, methodical, strategic approach to really trying to build that relationship with Seton Hall and the students there.
Second bravo, because you're so smart to do it before Thanksgiving break, because the sweet time for delivery service is between Thanksgiving and before they go home, because that's the finals time,
of course.
right?
And so we'll have some things planned for them at finals. But back to my vision of having Ordergrabbers be a student-run business is that being that I've had this senior on, she's in the honors program, very, very bright student. One thing that I really would love is to have, someone that is a senior or grad student that is studying marketing, someone that's a senior or grad student that is studying business management, and give them an opportunity. Hopefully they can get, this can be part of their senior project or part of their, or give them an opportunity to get credits for it, but also make a little bit of money as well. And this way they get real practical experience running a business, management as well as marketing, and really engaging in their student body, and having that get turned over year with a select group of students.
Yeah.
And so I really want this to build us into that type of opportunity where like every year there's a new group that's managing and getting that experience that they can use in their resume, that they are getting real practical experience running a business.
Yeah. How do we grow leaders if we don't give them the chance to lead?
Exactly. And so I think this is a prime market for it. I mean, Seton Hall is it's what, 10,000 students. The marketplace is Maplewood and South Orange. So I think it's like the prime market to be able to build this type of a business here and have students really get involved in it and be part of it.
That's awesome.
Because my experience working with and launching new markets in college towns per se, I think they want something like that. They want to be involved in that local business that all the students are that really like, and so if you have someone that's a senior who is studying business management, now they are the local general manager, and you have someone that's studying marketing or digital marketing, and now they're the local community marketing manager. They're getting practical experience, and everything from a marketing standpoint, everything they create, they use for their portfolio.
Amazing.
And everything that person does, from a management perspective,
it's real.
They can go into a job interview and be like, the last 12 months, I was managing a local restaurant marketplace and delivery service, and by the way, this is what I was doing.
Right.
Right.
And here's data.
And here's exactly.
real information, not like in my project.
Exactly.
I did this, but actually, like the market did this,
right.
And then so we reacted, and we had a challenge here,
right.
And it's a good segue into challenges. So, what challenges have you
had?
A
lot. I mean, I think.
Okay, you're the Aman. First time. Usually, I ask this question, people are like, I don't know.
No, they're lying to you. Anyone that's starting a new business will tell you that every day is a challenge, and that you're constantly being faced with, should you do this or should you not, or where can you cut costs? I mean, every day is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Because as an entrepreneur and as someone that is starting a business, as an entrepreneur, you're doing obviously other things, right?
Yeah.
You're not just focused on one thing. So while I have other things going on, this is still a primary focus of mine. But I think some of the challenge are, the day-to-day in terms of management, developing relationships, restaurants, getting content on the website, hiring drivers.
Right.
You'd be surprised that's the biggest challenge in this type of business, because every third party out there that is delivering is competing for the same driver.
Right.
And so I think that is going to be a challenge moving forward, and it will always be a challenge.
Yeah.
Because I think ultimately for every 10, 15, 20 drivers you may hire, a handful of them stay.
Yeah.
Because, if you're someone that's constantly looking for a delivery driver position, you're always humping to, you're always thinking the grass is greener on the other side.
Right.
It never really is.
Yeah.
Right? And so they'll come on board for a week, and then they may get a job somewhere else and do that for. I mean, it's just there's a lot of inconsistencies in terms of hiring drivers.
Well, this is what happens when I start talking about this. Now I'm like brainstorming. I'm like, driver programs, like maybe having a program where this is like driving is just the beginning.
Right.
But like, what do you really want to do?
Well,
and can you grow into the company in other ways, starting with being a driver?
Yep. And I've taken that approach, and I've got about 2 drivers that are interested in marketing.
Cool.
Okay. So that's a start. I think one of the other things is that I haven't done yet, but I'm looking to do once we start getting on campus and starting to engage with those customers, is hiring some Seton Hall University students for driving. It'd be a great gig for them to work around their class schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We're shifting our hours of operation in this marketplace to from 5 to 10 instead of from 11 to 3 and then 5 to 9. Getting feedback from our brand ambassador she said, you're probably really not going to get a whole lot of lunch orders from the students because in between classes, they're more likely just to go to the cafe and get something, which is understandable. And then, from some customers that order, it was like, you know what, like I got home late. I was wishing you guys were open later because in this marketplace, I realized a lot of people are moving from New York City, specifically Brooklyn.
Shocker.
So those are type of customers that we want to be able to offer a little bit of a later service for.
Yes. What we really need is a restaurant or a couple that will stay open till.
Well, you're right,
really
and so that was
late.
the only that's the only challenge is that most restaurants close, their kitchens close between 9 and 10. But so we've changing that to be 5 to 10, and then if that goes really well, we may extend it to 11. But the 11 to 3, we just really don't get a whole lot of traction there for lunch at this point. And I think because the weather's been kind of weird, I think we're not in peak delivery season yet. So I feel like after the new year, maybe in January sometime, that may be a time to open up for lunch because ultimately, like if you work locally, your chances of you wanting to walk outside your door to get something to eat is probably pretty slim.
Yeah, you could probably do that like seasonally.
Right.
So
and that's kind of what I wanted to do is like so for the first couple of weeks it's been kind of feeling out the marketplace, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and really trying to come to a decision where how do I make this marketplace work, which will allow me to do other things.
Cool.
When the 5 to 10 definitely helps me do and focus on other things from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. How much time do you have in your day? So I love this. This is a great conversation, and I would love for it to keep going and going. So part 2, stay tuned. But I want to ask you a couple questions before we leave. One is, so what are some of your favorite places to shop local, eat local, or be local in South Orange and Maplewood?
So I like BGR.
Okay.
That's probably one of my favorites. I like Falafel Yours.
What do you order from BGR?
So I've tried a couple of their burgers. I like the tuna burger. I like the chicken sandwich.
I didn't even know they had a tuna burger, and that's why I haven't gone there.
They have an ahi tuna burger, which is really, it's a slab of ahi tuna. So it's like a little mini ahi tuna steak.
Yeah.
So which is great. I've had that a couple times. Their chicken sandwich is pretty good.
BGR, I'm coming to you, and you know why I'm coming to you? Because of Aman.
And just so you know, BGR has turned out to be one of our really good restaurant partners. They really get the whole local thing, and
people are ordering burgers even if they don't travel.
We're going to be doing some really good things with BGR in the coming weeks. So look out for that because they're one of our better partners along with the Dancing Blender.
I've always felt like the Dancing Blender has been in the back of my mind, but it's not the place I think of when I want to get a smoothie, and it's starting to change because I work over at Work and Play.
Right.
So now I see it all the time, but I live in Maplewood, and I see a lot more in Maplewood. I love that I now work in South Orange, so I can really get to know the businesses there.
Yeah,
so that's cool. Dancing Blender, I would think, would be really Seton Hall.
It will. Manny, the owner there, has a good relationship with the athletics department over at Seton Hall. So that he's got a great thing going there. My goal is to help him penetrate the other area of the student body at Seton Hall.
Yeah.
And obviously that takes time. And so that's what we're working on with.
#patience for entrepreneurs,
right? right. Well, that's the key is you definitely have to have patience. And one of the things is you really just have to be able to understand when it's time for you to stop and regroup and sometimes pivot in a different direction. So your business survives.
Cool.
So those are some of my favorite places. In terms of retail, I think the Sadie's is a pretty cool retail spot.
Yes.
I think I don't know how long they've been around, but it's a nice little boutique for kids types clothing and things of that nature. So I really like that.
Women and men too. Guys. Okay. Best story ever. I went in there for a bake sale for one of the organizations that I interviewed, Take the Cake. Mm-hmm. And I'd never been there before. and they had all these awesome shirts for me, all these awesome like things. But then I was like, I have a birthday party to go to for a guy, like his 40th birthday party, and the woman at the counter was just like, well, we have flasks. We have these really cool flasks, and we also have all these other. They had tons. They have actually like what I would say for a boutique, like tons of items to choose from. And I got him this cool flask and a bottle of liquor from one of the local shops, and he was over. I mean, he was over the moon. He thought it was the coolest thing, and I thought it was the coolest thing that I went to a place where I had a limiting belief that it was like just for either young women or maybe for me. Now I know it's for me. But also I was able to get a present for my guy friend there, so that was cool. So now you know that too. Yeah.
Two other good spots of mine is Wild Ginger, the Thai place.
Yeah.
My wife and I ate there several weeks ago, and we really liked it. It's pretty good, really good food there. And in terms of pizza, I would say so far my favorite pizza is Sabatino's.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys! Penetrating the market here.
is legit.
Wow.
And I'm a pizza person. Anybody from New Jersey is like pizza is probably at some point have been
Brooklyn.
And Brooklyn. Or the tri-state area, I must say, because when you travel outside the tri-state area, everyone thinks they do good pizza, but it's not the same.
No.
But so Sabatino's is phenomenal pizza.
I think of Sabatino's as in the true Soma. Like I don't know if they're South Orange or Maplewood because they're in the middle ground.
Exactly. They're right there, right on the cusp. So,
yeah. That's great.
And that's
awesome.
It. I mean, there's obviously there's a bunch of other places, but I think those are the most recent great experiences I've had with their food and or retail. I think Soma probably needs a few more pretty cool retail places.
Yeah. We're always working on it.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Where can we find you besides the app? Like, are you on Facebook?
Sweet. So I've got this crazy Facebook story, and I won't bore the audience here with too much of it, but I'm really fed up with Facebook.
So where can we find you?
You can find us. you can find me. You can find Ordergrabbers on Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, great.
Okay. You can find us on Google.
Woo.
Okay. Google my business. We're there. But we are looking to redo our Facebook page.
Cool.
I had somebody doing it like early on, and he or I lost the password to the account.
Oh no.
And so there's no real customer service to Facebook. So even you go onto those communication boards or whatever like that, and no one's helped. I can't get into that page.
Guys.
So if anyone out there has a way to do it, please get in touch because I would love to reclaim my Facebook page back.
All right, so Instagram for now. There's a website.
Ordergrabbers.com.
And you can order off of there too, right?
You can order off the website.
And then app.
App, both in
download the app.
iOS store as well as the Google Play Store.
Super. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Fabulous. And this is how I end all my shows. You're about to hear it. And we're out.